What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Omar back again, and right now I'm bringing you guys some NBA. As you may know, and probably do know if you're a basketball fan and you keep track of what's going on, free agency has begun as of today, July 1st, and it did not take long for big things to start happening. So I'm just going to start breaking down a few of the moves so far, at least the bigger ones, and how I feel about them, and of course, the Knicks have not been involved with anything yet, but they have been rumored to be interested in some players. So obviously the big news came last night when the Thunder committed highway robbery to get Paul George, which really no one saw coming, and I just still can't believe what they were able to give up to get Paul George. Now, Paul George is a one-year rental. This is true. He is not going to re-sign with the Thunder, I don't imagine. In fact, I'm still set on the fact, and I think everybody is, that he's going to be a Los Angeles Laker come 2 seasons from now. So not this upcoming season, but the next season. All signs point that way. Obviously, he went to Fresno State. He's a Cali kid. So is Westbrook, by the way, so that's something to keep an eye on. But one-year rental or not, Paul George for Victor Oladipo and I believe it's Domantas Sabonis. I think it's Domantas. So Oladipo is not a bad player by any means. He's just not a winning type of player, especially in the current NBA. Current NBA, a lot of jump shooting, a lot of threes. You need guys that play play defense and hit threes. So 3 and D. And Oladipo, not a very efficient shooter. In fact, I don't have his numbers up right here. I'm going to go ahead and pull it up right now on my phone here. But if I'm not mistaken, he may have shot under 40% from the field this season. And that's just atrocious. I mean, when you're talking about a guy that's a volume shooter, because he does get his shots, gets a lot of scoring opportunities, and just... Okay, so it came up. All right, so to his credit, his field goal has improved every season. He shot 44% last year, and he shot 36% from 3. But, again, very athletic, still very young, so a chance to grow as a player. He's 25, but he's a guy who's making more money than Paul George already. And we've kind of seen his limitations be the fact that he's not the most efficient player. And although he's a good player, he's not really great at any one thing, besides just maybe pure athleticism. So because of that, I hated the deal for the Pacers. I thought they could have gotten a whole lot more. It sounds like they had a whole lot more on the table from the Celtics on draft night, and just did not pull the trigger, and then decided to pull the trigger on this. Of course, that means the only thing that could possibly mean for me is that they like Oladipo a lot, because otherwise the trade does not make sense. So I think the Thunder got a great deal. I don't think they're going to contend for the championship or anything like that, but still, a good deal is a good deal. And at least you give Westbrook someone else to work with. We'll see how those two work together on offense. So since then, we've had Steph Curry sign his 5-year, $201 million extension. That makes him the highest paid player per year in NBA history, $40.2 million a year, and well-deserved. Like LeBron said in his tweet, he feels that Steph Curry is owed 5 years and $400 million. Maybe. I mean, who's to say no? If Tristan Thompson's making $17 a year, what is Steph Curry worth? 100 a year? I mean, it's just crazy to think about the money going around in the league. And speaking of money going around in the league, just a few minutes ago, J.J. Redick decided to sign with the Sixers, a 1-year, $23 million deal. I love J.J. Redick. I think he's a great player, but to see a guy like J.J. Redick get $23 million is unbelievable. That's so amazing. You think about some of the other sports. Bryce Harper recently settled his arbitration for next season for less than that. I mean, the top Antonio Brown makes less than that. It's unbelievable to think how much money is going around in these basketball contracts. But it is a good move for the Sixers. I like what they're doing. It sounds like they're trying to impress Kyle Lowry and hopefully get him in as well, and have it be Lowry. Although it doesn't really make much sense for them to do that with Fultz. So we'll see how it all goes. I personally don't think it's going to be anything to do with Lowry. I think that the only way they would do that is if they brought Redick off the bench as a sixth man and put Fultz to 2. But that doesn't make any sense because you just drafted the guy #1 overall and he's a point guard. So, and a Husky, by the way. Let's go Huskies. So I like the move regardless. I don't think they'll go after Kyle Lowry. And one thing I wanted to also touch on is, I touched on this a little bit earlier with the trade offer on draft night, but the Celtics, who have all these picks and are just, I'm watching the Mets here, is Jubal Cabrera into the gap or into the corner. Nice. All right. Anyway, the Celtics have tons and tons and tons of draft picks, but haven't made a move, whether that's Danny Ainge's fault or people are denying, just denying their trade offers. I can't fully blame Danny Ainge because I don't know what's going on. All I can see are the peripherals, which is that this team is not a team that needs to stockpile first-round draft picks. They're a team that needs to go out there and get a piece or two in order to contend. I mean, I've always felt that same way about picks. Picks are great. Don't get me wrong. Picks are great. When the Knicks didn't have them, it annoyed the hell out of me. But when you have a contending team, you don't want to have 3 first-round draft picks. A, it's only 15 spots on the roster. There's not going to be so much space for all these players. And B, if you can move 2 of these picks, 3 of these picks for a Paul George, or go out there and get someone else to help your team, that's what you need to do. I mean, it sounds like from what I read yesterday that they turned down an offer that would have been Jimmy Butler for the 3rd overall pick. That's absurd to me. I get that they like Jason Tatum. I get that Jason Tatum has a good future in this league. I fully believe in him. But Jimmy Butler, you had a chance at Jimmy Butler for 1 of your picks, and you didn't do it. To me, I can't justify that. I just can't. When you're the Celtics, you got to make a run right now. I really don't think they're that far off the Cavs. So we'll see what happens. But bottom line is this: they need to make a move. They need to show their fan base that they can do something. That they want to go out there and compete with the Cavs, and they know they need that piece. I should say. Obviously, Gordon Hayward might be that piece for them, but if they don't sign Gordon Hayward, then maybe they call us up. Maybe they call the Knicks up, and they finally make a move and try to get Carmelo Anthony. He who shall not be named in trade talks. I don't know. Maybe everybody wants him. Nobody wants him. Who knows what's going on with our team? All I know is that Phil Jackson's gone, and that's a good thing. Anyway, forget the Knicks. The Knicks aren't really a main team involved in free agency right now. I did want to mention one more signing. At least it's happened so far, and that's the signing of Jeff Teague by the Timberwolves. I feel like it was a good move for the Timberwolves. Obviously, to me, he's an upgrade over Rubio. I think pretty much anybody would agree with that statement. And although he's not an elite point guard per se, he's a good point guard for them. He's going to add to Butler. He's going to add to Wiggins. He's going to add to Cat. That's a great team. Gorgie Jang is not to be underrated either. I'm really liking what the Timberwolves are doing. I hope they just make that one more move. That's what they need to do. That the one more move, and they'll be, at least a team that can make some noise in the West. I don't think they're winning the West by any means, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see where Andre Iguodala lands. That's going to be my closing part of this video. Iguodala is a 2-time champ. He's a Finals MVP. He's a veteran. He's going to get paid by somebody, and rightfully so. And we'll just have to see who it is. If it's the Warriors, then that's a big gaffe on everybody else's part, not poaching him away from a team that is really bogged down salary cap-wise. Anyway, that's my video. Obviously, there's much more to come in the NBA free agency period. We'll admit, even though the NBA salary cap does annoy me, the free agency period for the NBA is far and away the most exciting of any free agency. So hopefully some more excitement happens. Maybe another big blockbuster trade that no one saw coming. Until then, it's your boy Omar signing off.